What's that? You like my gunsling? Thanks. Just rigged it up myself. Alright guys, it is opening day here in Iowa. I decided to do the first season here because of the whole coronavirus deal. I have online class, so technically I'm still going to class, and that's actually why I'm really late to get out here this afternoon. I didn't park the car until 5:30, so quick hunt. I think the birds will probably start flying up around 8. Oh, there's a deer across the way. We'll film them things. The wildlife is already moving, as you can see. I need to get in there and get set up, but anyway, super excited for opening day of turkey season. Definitely good to be back in the woods hunting. And I prayed this morning that everyone will have, some sort of outlet in their life that, like I do with hunting, and how I'm blessed with hunting to be able to just put a bunch of energy into and just take a bunch of satisfaction from, and just have a hobby that you really care about. I prayed for that this morning, and it's just really cool thought. I always get super giddy on opening day, and it was just kind of cool. But anyway, this morning was actually a really kind of crappy hunt. I prayed on the way out here that God would turn off the fan, and it was just so windy I could hardly wear a hat. And to be honest, it's feeling pretty good now. When I got my tag, it was supposed to be pretty good weather. Well, now it's supposed to be really cold. I mean, it's going to be frozen, heavy frost every single morning, and it was high winds this morning, and turkeys don't really like that. They don't like to gobble, and I haven't been down here for a couple weeks, so I haven't been able to do that much scouting. I didn't have any birds roosted, so this morning, basically what happened, I'll spare you a bunch of the footage, I guess, but basically went to the first spot. There was a guy there. Early bird gets the worm, so I went to a different spot. There is another guy there, but I think he was hunting private. I was really surprised as to how many people got this first season tag. The reason I went with the first season is because it's usually the best season before these birds here in Iowa get henned up, and they seem like they get harder to call as the season goes on. So I wanted to get this first season tag, and I thought it would be a lot less pressure, but I'm guessing a lot of people are working from home right now with this whole deal, and even in the bad weather there's a lot of people out. So anyway, went to the second spot. There was a couple birds gobbling, maybe, I don't even know, I could barely even hear them on private, and then I got basically blocked by a big creek. There was a bunch of rains, kind of flash flooding type of deal. Went to the farm, heard one gobble, couldn't tell where it was, and it was honestly too cold for me to even be out there or hear anything. Couldn't pin him down. I didn't want to just go tromping through. And I'm trying to save the farm more for Dad and Trevor, because Dad is going to get some landowner tags. I think he already got his tags. And Trevor's going to be bow hunting, so it'd be nice if he could use our blinds. So I will hunt the farm, and there's a lot of turkeys on us this year, which is good, it seems like, so far. So I might hunt the farm, and that'd be really fun too. But this afternoon, I decided to check out a place that we've deer hunted quite a bit. No, not quite a bit. It's actually pretty far away from where we stay, and I drove by a bunch of good-looking turkey country, and some spots that I know are pretty decent to get here. But the reason I wanted to go here is because the way it lays out, there's this nice bottom that should be greening up once I get back in there, that I think the turkeys will strut anyway, and then it's also down in the hole where the ridges should block the wind. And being as it's so windy, I figured if the turkeys could get out of the wind, they might fire up. And now that it feels really good, so I need to get back in there. But it almost feels right. Like, I figured if they could get out of the wind, they'd be waiting for that break in the weather, I guess, and hopefully it'll be on fire. So the main goal, because it is short time, is to find some turkeys to hunt tomorrow. Hopefully put some to bed and then come back in the morning and kill them. But the plan for this afternoon is to just slide up this bottom here. I'm halfway expecting to see some strutting around on the bottom, and if that's the case, then might have to use this decoy, figure out how to set up on them, and then we'll kill them that way. If I don't see anything, just gonna keep going, calling, and either kill something that way or kill something where I guess they're gonna roost. So confidence is pretty high. Let's get going. Well, I'm just walking out now. I did not hear a single gobble, so I was trying to hit a bunch of places in here, trying to roost some, and I just haven't been able to find any. There might have been one like way far away up on top, but I don't know if it was or not. And anyway, the goal for tomorrow is to have an encounter with a turkey. There's that wind. I'm trying not to get too worried. I'm thinking it's just because of the weather, but I was just walking out here. There's a beautiful lake behind me, really pretty up in here, and I just spotted a shed. How about that? I just can't stay away from them this year. I mean, I don't know how many times I've gone shed hunting before this year, and I've never really had a good year. That's my second one today. I found one this morning. This one's on public land. This is only my second of the year on public. I've done quite a bit of looking on public, so to find one just tromping through turkey hunting's pretty crazy. But I'm pretty happy to find it. It's not huge, but it's a decent little shed. Probably be a good one this year. Ugh. Look at that guy. That's not good for him. That's a little 2-year-old buck. Kind of cool. He has some nice mass right there. All right. Alright guys, I decided to come out to the farm this morning. I could not locate any birds on public, and being as this is a short season, I thought there'd be birds on us. I figured I'd go where I knew there were some turkeys. I'm not sure if there's any on us today. All the turkeys I heard are in this back corner of our property, like right on our property line. I don't know if they're on us or on our neighbors. But there's like 5 of them over here, so figure if I get close, maybe one of them will come over. I don't know, even if they are on the neighbors. I think they're starting to fly down now. I was trying to wait at my listening spot, see if something would fire up the other direction. Likes my call. He's in our neighbor's cow pasture, but well, actually I think there could be some closer than him. But they like this call. turkeys decided they had enough of my crap and finally decided to go the other way. So I tried everything. I tried getting them really fired up, tried shutting up, and for an hour and a half they didn't move more than 20 yards, just back and forth. So I kept thinking at some point they would break. There were so many of them in there that I figured at some point they would break, and I never heard any hens. Anyway, the plan now is, I still feel like those turkeys will eventually work their way onto the farm, at least some of them throughout the day, so I might come back and check later. Jeez, there's a lot of them in there. But right now I think I'm gonna go to the other end of the farm, and I didn't hear anything gobbling over there this morning, but I would think there has to be some turkeys, so worth a shot. I've lost my patience on these guys, so see what happens. Pretty sure we're in business. I just came up the hill to our main bean field, and a crow just went off, and I'm pretty sure I heard a gobble up in front of me here on us, in the middle of us. I might have some turkeys I can finally actually work with. Well guys, I'm pretty beside myself right now. I just had like one of the coolest turkey encounters I've ever experienced. I mean, you can't ask for anything better. Like, you literally can't. And basically I came up the hill to our main bean field here. I knew there had to be some turkeys around. I don't know where those turkeys were this morning because I was listening maybe 150 yards from where they started gobbling. And anyway, I came up the hill, knew there had to be some around, and luckily I think a crow actually made it gobble twice. And the first time I thought it was the ones behind me. The second time I figured out it was up here, and I'm like, holy crap, like we're in business. Like, perfect scenario. So I just crept around this corner here. There's a couple of fingers in our field, and I came to one of the points in the finger, dipped down a little bit because I knew they were just on the other side of the next finger. Dipped down a little bit and then crawled up to the edge, put my hen decoy right on the edge because I didn't want to risk going out any further, and I thought it was a gobbler with some hens. And as I started calling at him, I figured there could have been some jakes in there because I thought I heard a jake gobble. I don't know if there was hen. I think there were some hens. Just figured I could imitate the hens and maybe draw them in. And I was doing quite a bit of calling. I figured I just needed them to see the decoy. Well, it took maybe 15 minutes, and I didn't know if they were going to come in. All of a sudden, I look up, and it was to the left of where I thought they would come from. And there is like, I don't know, 5 jakes just storming in. I've never experienced that where they are just running in. They saw the decoy, they knew I was calling, and they were running in. I had the decoy less than 5 yards from me, and those jakes were right there, like instantaneously. And after 15 minutes, I had set my gun down. Well, that's like right when they came in, so I didn't have my gun in my hand. I finally got the camera turned on, and I'm like, oh, this is blown. And truth be told, I didn't know if there was actually a tom in there because sometimes jakes can sound pretty good if they gobble. So I decided not to shoot the jakes too, which is kind of weird for me. I had a nickname, Jake Slayer, because I've killed quite a few jakes in my time. And they stayed within 10 yards of me until everything happened. All of a sudden, big strutter comes up over the hill, and he's just spitting and drumming his way in. Meanwhile, the jakes are still right there. So now I'm like, first of all, I'm like pretty excited at this point, but now I'm like, holy crap, I have to get my gun in my hand. So I just moved extremely slowly. I mean, my hide was pretty good. I had the camera with a net over top of it. It was pretty good, but the jakes knew something was up, so I figured they were gonna blow out any minute. Finally, I just inched my gun up. I didn't do the fast one because I didn't want to have to shoot at him on the run. I mean, he was just strutting. So I just finally got my gun up, and I'd just been working in the whole time. I mean, it went really smooth. It was tough because I didn't have my gun in my hand, but you can't ask for much better. And he was just kind of broadside, full strut, and I called, and he stuck his head out a little bit. And I mean, I know for a fact the bead was on him. I don't know if maybe I lifted my head up off the gun when I called, because I don't usually do that. I usually just shoot them. Usually they're not strutting when I'm shooting them. I don't know if that's what I did. You can see a lot of brush move when I shoot. So I set up down a little over the hill because I don't have a blind. I didn't want to be right on the field edge. I mean, it's kind of what I had to do. But it's just kind of grass, and I really figured I didn't think it would deflect the shot. So I don't know if the shot got deflected or if I lifted my head up and missed. I know the bead itself was on it, and I mean, I had to be less than 20, I mean, probably 25 yards, so perfect. And shot. I actually thought the turkey buckled and then got back up. Like I thought I hit. I just didn't see any way that I didn't hit that turkey. I mean, I was really excited, but like so confident. Like I was like dead turkey when I shot. And I thought he buckled and then got back up and started to fly. I ended up chasing him down, and like even as I was running after him, like I was fully expecting him to stop flying and die because I was confident that I hit him, and he didn't. I mean, he didn't. So I got to where he landed, and no turkey. And I didn't even see him running away or anything, so he must have hit the ground running. And I was really mad at first because I thought I wounded him. And I still could have, which is really terrible because I really don't want that thing to just go die and go to waste. But after reviewing the footage, I think it could be a clean miss. I went and walked out there, checked a bunch, and didn't find any blood or feathers, at least. I mean, there's not much I can do about it. I looked at where he landed, too, and didn't find anything. Couldn't find the bird, so... I mean, you can't really blood trail a turkey, especially if it's not bleeding, so... This first season's pretty short, and can't really waste any opportunities, so... I don't know if I'll take a break, recoup, and come back out. When I thought I wounded it, I was just going to be done. I was, like, pretty mad at myself. But I'm hoping that maybe it was just a clean miss. So I don't really know what the plan is. I'm feeling a little bit better now. I guess it happens. I just have never had a shot that I'm just that surprised about missing. And the worst thing is, I don't know what I would do differently. I guess just double check everything, and I think, I don't know if it deflect off of the brush. I guess just be a little bit more careful, but I guess all you can do is move on. I'm gonna try to stay positive, and at least I get to keep turkey hunting, I guess. And after looking at the footage, I don't think I wounded him. I mean, he took off pretty quickly, so hopefully I didn't, but we're gonna move on, I guess.